Hello, 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 hi. Hello there, welcome or welcome back to this channel. My name is Matheri and I talk about true crime, solved cases, cold cases, mysterious cases, all things true crime. And firstly, I apologize about my sound, I'm working on it. And this setting, I don't know how it looks, but to send a nayo cause. So I hope your day is as bright as this forehead. Oh, and a big thank you to my 47 subscribers. Thank you for being there with me through this journey. And now, I like talking a lot, so I'm just going to shut up and let's get to today's case. So if you are a teenager or an adult in the 2007, 2006, 2005, you know this person, you definitely know this person because it was a media sensation back then. Like people were talking about him, he was terrorizing people, like people were not in peace. Mostly those in Gashie, Kiambu County, those in Kinoo, those in Nairobi, like there was no peace for people. So this man is Matheri Ikere, Simon Matheri Ikere, and he was born in December 30th, 1977. Now, he was born to Father Peter Ikere, who was a truck driver at that time, and Martha Wanjiru. And he was born into a big family. Not sure of how many kids they were, because some reports says they were 8, others says they were 9, they were 11, I mean. So but let's just say they were a big family. And not much is said about his childhood. He started his former education 1985 at Kehara School, Gashie, and he dropped out on his own when he was in class 8. His father says he just woke up and decided, school is not for me, so he just dropped out. So his father took him to a training to become a mechanic, and he was a mechanic at Gashie. And that's when he started stealing small things, household things. He started stealing from his neighbors and stuff, just small things. And he had a house, and his father says he just woke up one day and burnt the whole house down, burnt it with no reason. So with this thefting, what do you call them, like with this just stealing, his father decided, like, he was so fed up with him, so he prosecuted him and he was taken to community prison for 5 years. That's when his love for stealing, like, he was more interested, like he became a hardened one, like a hardened thief back then when he was in committee. Now when he came back, like when alitoka prison, he met this woman in 1999. Her name was Josephine, and they fell in love. But Josephine at that time was 15 years old. Josephine was 15 years old. She was a dropout too, and she was working as a house help. It is said that Josephine alikuwa anatoka from her employer's house anakuja. They used to meet and he used to buy her small gifts, and she fell for him. So she got pregnant, and before the baby was born, he proposed to her. But then again, he left even before the baby was born. So Josephine gave birth to a baby girl. She named her after her own mother, and it is said after the baby was born, Simon was fond of the child, and they connected after 2 years, and they were back together. And this time, he took her to his parents, and they even built a house for her. So like, they accepted her as his wife. In 2002, she gave birth again to twins, and they were a happy family back then, according to Josephine. And things started to change in 2005 when he left his mechanic job and started working as a construction sites. And that's when Josephine says she noticed change. Like, he used to come home late, he used to have a gun around the house. His criminal activities started in Kihara, Kinoo, Kikuyu, Nairobi and surrounding villages in 2005. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's kind of dark again here. I don't know what has happened, but But let's continue. So in 2005, after she noticed the change, now she was in Gashie, Kiambu. Now Simon, relocated to Nairobi, and that's when his criminal activities like went up. He used to steal, yes, but it went up. At times, he was hired as a hitman. They used to pay him 5,500 per head. It is said that the same businessmen who hired him as a hitman would at times be killed by him again by other businessmen. So it was kind of an irony over there, because you hire someone to kill someone and then someone else hires him to kill you again. 2006, his wife Josephine and her children, they were subjected to humiliating police searches. At times, like there was this one time, her house was burnt down by villagers because they thought Simon was there. So, like, they had no peace and they relocated to Kimende along Nairobi Naivasha Highway. On February 12, 2007, Simon was declared a public enemy number one, and his photos were shared everywhere. He was the most wanted person in Kenya at that time. He was shared on police websites and every media house. Like, it was talking about him. He was everywhere. His photos were shared online. A bounty was put on his head, around 150,000 Kenyan shillings. I couldn't find the exact amount of money, but it was a huge amount of money. And of course, when people hear money, they're gonna tip the police. Like, now the police started receiving calls, like we've seen him, and there was one particular tip that came in, and they said they saw him at Pinema Cafe. I hope I'm spelling it right, near Tomboya and River Road roundabout. So they said they saw three people, like it was him and three other people, and police flocked there. Like, they ran. Of course, he was a wanted man. He was a dangerous one. So the police went there. There were three people. One went out, and when he came back, he came with the police. And they said Matheri was pinned down, and at that time he didn't have ID. So like they were sure it was him, and they put handcuffs on him. When they look at him visually, they find it is not Simon Matheri. It was a mistaken identity, but this person looked like him. Like, the three were graduates from Maseno University, and this Joseph guy, the person who was mistaken to be Simon, looked like him. So they advised him, like, this person is wanted in Kenya, so just grow a beard and never shave your head, so like to differentiate you to. Increased rapes, killings, and robberies led to the formation of three special units. They consisted of the Special Crime and Prevention Unit, the Flying Squad, and the November Squad. I kept changing the position of the camera to like draw in more light, but it's not happening. So I think I'll just tuitumia venye iko. So the police were working with a network line, and on 19th of February they got a ping to their system, and he was driving to Nairobi in a rental car, and the ping they got was in Kabati near Kenol, Thika Town, Kiambu County, and they lost his connection again. Like, they lost his location when he changed the network line he was using from the phone he was using to another phone. So police got his location again 2 hours later, and the police talked to their colleagues who are manning Mombasa Road near City Cabanas, and they told them to place a roadblock. But Matheri did not pass Mombasa Road. He passed North Airport Road, which was 50 kilometers from where the police had placed the roadblock. So the chance of getting him was null at that time. So an hour later, the police got his location again through the network line he was using, which he had made a call that night, and he was at Athi River, which is 20 kilometers from Nairobi. And you remember the three special forces, like they got many police, and all of them went to that place he was hiding in Athi River at 12 a.m., 0000. So there were around 100 police forces, like police guys, the special unit forces guys. So I couldn't find a timeline when Matheri had his second wife, but he had a second wife. Her name was Felicitas, and where they met is not really known. And she had 2 children of her own before they met. So when Matheri came again, they had another 4 children. And not much is said about Felicitas. Like, it was hard to find more about Felicitas. But when Matheri was found in at the river, he and his wife Felicitas, you remember Josephine is at Ushago? Josephine, the first wife. So when Matheri was found, he was with Felicitas and their 6 children. And also in the house, there was another accomplice, Matheri. I don't know why he was called Matheri's watchman or guard, stuff kama hiyo. So we get to this place where there are 100, more than 100 police outside, and Matheri and his wife, his second wife, and the children are in the house together with this watchman guy. So of course it's not normal for police to show at your house in the middle of the night. So the neighbors were interested, very very interested. I bet if I were there pia mimi ningetoka nje cause drama inipite. Anyway, so the police are outside and they are talking to Matheri and they're telling him, come out, the hands in the hair, come out without, if you've watched movies, you've seen how the police do this stuff. So Matheri is in his house and his second wife is talking to him and he's telling him, please just go, we have children. And the police could burn out the house because it is reported that when the police were telling them to come out, they were telling them we will burn the house down and stuff. So Matheri was talking to his wife Felicitas was talking to Matheri and telling him, just go outside before the police and blah blah blah. Matheri is telling his wife, even if I go out, police bado wataniua and stuff. So Matheri's wife is like, you just go out, don't go with a rifle, just go out unharmed, go out with your friend and blah blah. So they're conversing, it's been some few hours, and then Matheri comes out. According to Felicitas, this is where it gets conspiratory. So Matheri goes out with his hands in the hair together with his watchman guy behind him. So when he goes out, Felicitas says Matheri went out, they talked to the police for some few hours, and then gunshots were heard. Felicitas says that Matheri went out unharmed. Now, according to the police version, this is reported speech, don't come for me. So according to the police, Matheri came out with his A47 rifle, AK-47. I guess it's like that, AK-47. So Matheri came out with it and the police had to shoot because he was harmed and stuff. And then there was another report that there was a police, talking with the police boss, and they were saying like, we found the guy and blah blah blah. So the police boss talked to this police and said, shoot him right in the head while I listen and stuff. So it's all conspiratory. We don't know. So Matheri was shot dead. He was found with his hands in the back and he wore a trouser, no upper body. And when the neighbor heard that Matheri was down, I mean, everybody flocked there. And when someone dies in the mortuary, of course they took him to the mortuary. They don't allow people to come and see the body if it is not a familiar stuff. But this one, they allowed everyone. And people were seeing, there was some footage, news. The people were seen going there and they had to confirm it if it was Matheri, and the people were happy. There was even a man who was seen saying like, I will go and buy a goat and celebrate that Matheri was down and stuff. So the whole the whole of Kenya, could I say that the people were happy, and even the family, Matheri's family, his father and mother, they were somewhat happy that they had disowned him, like he terrorized people. Now let's talk about the murders that was connected to. I'll just read them because there were many, about 18 or 21, some reports says. Now he was connected to he was connected to Professor Job Boyo, who was an African AIDS researcher, and was connected to a US missionary, Lois Addison, and her daughter. Gatui, who was shot dead on August 4th as he inspected his construction sites. There was John Wahome, there was former Deputy Commissioner of Police James Peter, there was businessman Morgan Jenga. There are so many people, and others are not mentioned. There was Boyo, there was Kuria, there was Regeru. There are so many people. There was Karugi and his son. Like, he had killed many people. Also, they were just they linked him to the murder. The families of the people he murdered, I hope they got they were comforted and stuff. I hope they are well right now. Sisters was not allowed to attend his murder because the family did not know her, so they did not consider her his wife and stuff. So after Josephine went back, it was a bit hard for her because the people at the village knew that they thought that Matheri had left her some money, I guess. So they came harassing her and stuff. But then when they found out about Felicitas, it was like the limelight had been lifted off from her. So like they stopped focusing on her. But still, her brother-in-laws, they came, they took everything on the house. Like they took the furniture, they took the cutlery, which was a kitchen. They took everything in the house, and even not the crying of her children could stop them. And then they also took her children. Remember the twins and the girl? They took them, and she was left alone, and she had to come back. She had to come in Nairobi and stuff. So they stayed with the children, and her first daughter, the eldest daughter, was taken to orphanage and stuff. And so like it was really bad. But then the church, there was a church that she was going to. They came and rented a place for her, and she at least got something, and she was good for some few months. But then again, the church like stopped paying for everything. They told her like, you're a big girl now, go and look out for yourself. We can't be taking care of our child and also taking care of you and stuff. So I hope where she is, she's good. Because she went through a lot. And I don't know if her and her children are back together, like she got the custody of her children and stuff. But I hope she did. Not much is said about her. And the second wife, Felista, she was taken to custody because they thought she was an accomplice of Matheri. But then again, FIDA, Federation of Women Lawyers Kenya, they fought for her. I hope they won. They said there is this law in the constitution that says like you being married to someone doesn't necessarily mean if that person is bad at it. It doesn't mean like you are an accomplice of them or stuff. So and none is said, not much is said. There's no media coverage. It's so frustrating. But I don't know where she is right now, if she got out, if they won the case or stuff. I tried searching, I really tried, but not much is said about them. So that was the story of Simon Matheri Kere. Hope to see you again the next time I post. This was my first time talking about a case. This was my first time. So of course there was some misspelling of words. The lights were not focusing. The sound. There are so many things. But thank you for staying with me till the end. Thank you. And be safe out there. Be safe out there. Like, be safe. Be safe. Whatever you do, be safe. And see you next in my next video. What am I saying? See you in my next video. Bye.